Greetings, sentient beings. This broadcast is not intended for children. There will be strong language and adult themes. And as usual, today we have with us Godless Sewing.
How's it going?
And our own Jenny Morgan, giving us some good scenery of the river.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Hey, Greg. Yes, we're still on topic. Drinksgiving.
And
as long as we're all drunk during the show, we're on topic then, isn't that right?
And she just stepped away from the camera, but we have a special guest with us tonight, the Sinister Porpoise.
Yay. So I haven't had a drink in a very, very long time, but I actually used to practice in Drinksgiving, where I was just depressed and I would drink the entire day before Thanksgiving. Is that what the holiday is? It's just all the you get to drink before. I guess there's nothing to do. Everything's closing around here. They're trying to fade out the madness that is Black Friday, at least here.
Oh, and we have Lavender Lady now.
Yay!
Hi, Diane.
Oh my, this sinister porpoise already.
Yep.
Let me look at some of this. I'm fooling around with stuff over here.
So yeah,
Okay.
Porpoise, you're still muted.
That was okay for right now because I was adjusting, making sure the sound wasn't coming through my speakers.
There we go. So we will introduce the Sinister Porpoise. What are your preferred pronouns?
She, her.
Okay.
Good enough. Hello.
Hello.
How are you today?
In a word,
That's all right. I'm just waking up.
Well, I had a new kitten keeping me up trying to do its human training.
boy, kitties.
Yeah, they're a handful when they start out.
You just reminded me of one of my favorite memes. It's a cat in outer space, and it's like, "What if the human owns me?"
And then sometimes there's a handful even when he's 5 years old.
But right now, the kitten is still in its hiding phase, and I'm letting it stay where it is.
Yep, there is Sylvia.
Aww.
Oh, she's not so happy about being held today.
No, she's in a mood. Is you in a mood? Oh my.
Purple gloves, what are you promising here?
That's
Hey, Seraphim. It's been a while. Hey, Zinzu. Native atheist.
Yeah, who have we got in the side chat here? I know Nerdy was starting in on us already.
Oh yay.
And Doc Fearsome.
Did you just say that Hovind was in the side chat? Little Kent baby?
No.
Hey.
No, we got...
If Ken Hovind is here, come on in. I want to have a discussion with you about your lack of understanding involving computers.
Hey, Hovind, I just wanted to know how that extramarital affair is going.
His lack of understanding about everything, but...
Please stop doing your dumb Earth creationist tours in the Grand Canyon. Thank you.
Oh, God.
I don't know why. And Nerdy was right. We didn't stay on topic. I don't know why that the young Earth creationist tours piss me off so much, but they need to leave Arizona alone.
Yep.
Who's that? Is that Eric?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, the kid's going after that one?
Well, they have tours in the Grand Canyon now. I can't say it without laughing hysterically. Okay, young Earth creationist tours of the Grand Canyon.
Oh wow, I'd love to go on one of those.
And they oh, sorry, I'm reading Zinju's comment. But every time I see it, it bothers me because, first off, the Grand Canyon is a welcoming, beautiful place. It's one of the most
Isn't it
peaceful,
though?
one of the most peaceful places I've ever been. And you can see where the glaciers hung out there for a long time. You can literally see, in geological terms, you can see what happened if you look at the wall. And
Mm-hmm.
as a lame person myself, I can see it. So it really pisses me off that young Earth creationists use the Grand Canyon as an excuse for their stupid "I'm a crybaby" flood story. I'm over it.
There wasn't a flood. There was a bunch of giants that took all the dirt out and made the moon.
Oh, I'm bored already. Younger
I
creation.
thought the Grand Canyon was made because Paul Bunyan was tired and dragging his axe when he walked through.
Oh, it's all cheese. Is everything made of
No,
cheese
that
now?
was the Rio Grande, wasn't it?
Great movie.
Oh my, that is so beautiful out there, though. I was so lucky as to get to fly through the Grand Canyon. It was absolutely beautiful.
No, the Rio Grande is made up of the tears of the people who, the indigenous people who were abused and had their land stolen from them by white people.
Okay, then.
That. Oh, I'm feeling giggly today. That would be anywhere in America, Australia, Canada.
Yeah, it would.
The entire. Do you know? A long time ago, I went to our Modern History Museum, our MoCA, and they had an exhibit called "Creating Race," and it was how the Spaniards created what we consider, Mexico and South and Central America.
Okay.
It wasn't nice.
Oh, how Spain did that.
Yeah. And, the other countries that followed, but it basically was talking about colonization and how they kept the women and wiped out the men. Literally.
Yeah. Genocidal rape.
Yep.
What a lovely
I
topic.
understand, in ancient history and stuff, how societies were different and humans were different and everybody was so tribalistic and weaponry and crude and uneducated and all these kinds of things that caused humans to be warlike and wanting to steal land and all this kind of stuff. I understand that. And that's how the human beings spread across the entire world. I don't care what race you are. It's how we existed. But to now in our day and age to lie about it and to misrepresent it as, oh no, only those white people did the right thing. It just infuriates me. Because there are so many cultures that have existed that were so far advanced and so wonderful and so democratic and things that to deny their existence is just a sin as far as I'm concerned.
I actually went off about this the other day, but a lot of history gets lost because to the victor goes the spoils.
Yeah.
Look what's happening right now. How many generations are we removed from World War II? And people are a younger generation is already in denial of it. That's another thing, man.
Well, we're only 2 generations removed, right?
And that's usually what it takes, is every 2 generations we forget and have to have another major war.
Oh, it drives me crazy. Like, that's why online sometimes I have to take a step back because someone will say something and I'm like, World War I, World War. Like, I always say we literally fought a war for that. People forget,
It's interesting when I think about it, but the guy that people call my father fought in the Pacific in World War II, so it's not that far in the past for me. I was
Slimy bastard.
Say again, hon?
The slimy bastard.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's my father and several of my uncles fought in Europe in World War II. One of my great uncles, his battalion was actually breaking down the fences from the concentration camp after the Germans had evacuated.
Oh, wow.
Oh my! But they had a nice sight to see, huh?
My father was amongst the first round of troops that went into Japan after they surrendered.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
And he saw Nagasaki.
That must have been pretty. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it probably changed him because he was only 17.
Oh,
Yeah, well,
okay. Got in
if
early.
he had
huh?
even any comprehension of the event, it had to change you.
That was actually something I was talking about last night with a friend. We both know a young man that went to Iraq, and he was a really rambunctious, misguided youth, but weren't we all? Because I know I was. And when he came back from Iraq, he's like stands at attention. He's quiet. He saw things, and it really put him in a dark place. And we don't know. We were saying like that's not necessarily a good thing, because he literally left like laughing and joking and saying all these cliche jokes, and now he kind of won't talk to you if you didn't fight in a war. He won't talk to you about it.
Okay, then. Okay.
And he's
Yeah,
not
there
there.
are some things that he took to his grave. I will never know what they are. Some things he just would not talk about. But if you said the right thing or did just the right trigger or something, you could see that there was something going on inside that head of his.
You gotta wait until they get like almost senile. My pop started telling government secrets right around 75, almost till about 80.
Oh, jeez.
he told me something one time, and I was like, I don't know if I'm supposed to know that.
My father took
man.
it all to his grave. He never talked about any of it. I just know that among his medals, he had 2 Purple Hearts.
Oh, wow.
Okay, then.
I wasn't reckless.
What's that?
I wasn't reckless.
I'm the youngest of 9 children, so I was a latchkey kid. My parents had officially given up by the time I came around. So
Yeah, I had the same thing, that my parents had given up on raising kids, and I grew up largely neglected in a house of a dozen people because everybody assumed somebody was watching me, so no one ever was.
Same. I love it when you say that.
After hearing that, I have one question. Mormon or Catholic?
Ooh, winner, chicken dinner, Catholic.
Yeah, I was born Catholic.
Yeah, Roman Catholic.
Roman Catholics love to have babies.
Yeah, well, they were still
was-
so thoroughly against any form of abortion, so,
I was hatched Lutheran.
or any form of birth control, rather, sorry.
When I was a kid, my church would it was that era where people would go to abortion clinics and yell at people.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
My Catholic church would send busloads of people to abortion clinics.
Well, they still do that.
I haven't been affiliated with the church in 20-something years. It's just it shocks me. I'm one of those people where if I don't like something, I don't involve myself. I don't go near that. I don't harass said person or issue. But that's just me. If I'm against something, I stay away from it.
I've locked horns with several hyper-Catholic apologists. That's not fun. About the thing called Catholic Answers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those guys I've locked horns with. Trent Horn and I do not like each other at all.
I always say
back
that.
in the 90s, I wound up driving through the abortion protesters several times just to get my ex to work.
It was intense back in the day. And I always say apologetics is lying. If someone says they're an apologist, they're effing lying. Well,
They know their stuff is crap.
When the church needs spinsters, you know you're done.
I don't know. Have you ever read the Farms and Fair stuff? I think they have great value as comedians.
Yeah, exactly. I actually got into it with one online who I saw at my local Walmart, and I won't even out him because he's actually fairly popular YouTube. He's a William Lane Craig protege.
Oh God!
Oh no!
William Lane Craig is actually on his channel all the time, and there's a weird guy that a long time ago on Raw did a special, that was just talking about how crazy the guy is. But these are well-known preachers. I walked up to the guy at Walmart. I was like, "Hi, I'm Godless Sewing." Let me tell you, he wasn't as fervent in person as he was online.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
What's his name? I haven't heard of him.
Ryan Pauly. I'm gonna out him. Ryan Pauly.
I don't know if I know this person.
He lives out here. I don't want to dox him, but he lives on my side of town, and we got into it a long time ago, and they were talking about Black Lives Matter and stuff, and I said, when, and maybe I'm naive, young Earth creationists are very anti-African American.
Yes, they are.
Then.
I had no clue because I live in Lefty Land.
Sorry, I'm thinking of someone I'm not going to bring up. If you're in certain circles, you know who he is.
Oh, of course. But my whole point is, like, when they're just, I don't know. He was brave online, and he didn't have much to say. He was actually really nice. He was really nice, but everybody is when they see me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not rude or anything. I walked right up to him. I was like, "Hi, I'm Godless Sewing," and he knew exactly who I was, like, right off the bat. Because I watch opposing views. I watch.
Oh yeah, you need to. Absolutely.
I love the argument, even if I'm not involved in it. I love the argument. Like, oh no, you're BS. Here's why.
Yeah, but what do you do when, like, yesterday I did a retweet of some woman who's some religious person. I forget her name. You can track it down if you follow my account on Twitter. And she's doing this talk about, I don't know what started it, but they showed the section where she's talking about just getting married to her husband and being in bed with him the first time, and
saw that.
A demon sits up, comes out of his body and sits up in bed, and then something, and she.
Wait a minute, you talking about SJ?
No,
I saw that.
And had sex with them or something like that, and then peeled his skin up, and it was a reptile, and then the reptile started having babies, which were gargoyles. Okay, how do you look at that and say that's the opposition? And
well, okay,
seriously.
So I watched that video. She's not on the other side. You need a space helmet to find her.
Is this Laurie Anderson?
Oh, what's her name?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I really don't know. She was an older woman, short pixie cut, average weight for an older woman.
She's all over Twitter.
Not Cat something, right?
I'm sorry, I just don't click on the name. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're digging around here to try to find.
Oh, what is her?
No, because Laurie Anderson has long hair, unless she had it cut, because the poor woman, and I have to say this, I feel sorry for her. She has a brain tumor.
Oh,
and
no.
I do hope she gets better. I really do.
Yeah, that's not a good thing, no.
Despite her ugly ways,
I've never known anybody who survived a brain tumor.
Neither have I.
Well, my dad had a benign one.
They thought I had one when I was 18, and it turned out they opened up my head and they didn't find anything. So, well, what are you going to do?
Fill it with sand and close it up.
Was that when they gave you a brain?
Yeah, that's it right there.
Oh, now I have If I only had a brain stuck in my head now.
I spend
God.
all my hours. 'Cause
I'm trying to remember what his name.
That was my movie when I was...
Reboot.
As a kid, I could never get past when they were going into like the field with the flowers and they fall asleep. I'd fall asleep at the same time.
Puppies will put them to sleep.
And then I'd wake up in the credit. It was the end. I'm like, oh,
The monkeys scared the fuck out of me.
oh, fly, my pretties, fly.
Yeah, I
wanna
remember
know
as a
how
kid
many-
being freaked out by the monkeys.
I want to know how many drugs were involved in writing that script.
Well, Frank Oz had written it already for them. It was pretty much chapter and verse. So
I was really
Frank,
freaked out by
hold
the
on.
monkeys. I was
I
really
think-
freaked out
hold
by
on.
the monkeys, but I got used to them and really came to like Davy Jones.
I think you mean L. Frank Baum, not Frank Oz.
oh, very well.
Now, Frank
Oh.
Oz was something else. Yeah.
Got my bad.
We got a little treat here coming into scene from camera left.
Dayu Korostu?
It'll take a while, so just look back every so often.
Okay,
there's the
I'm
barge.
enlarging you. We got a barge coming in.
Yep.
Yeah, one of the really large barges.
So when I lived in Portland, Oregon, I used to go. Some of the best reading I ever got done was at the Willamette River. That scene totally reminds me of the Burnside Bridge.
Will, just a moment. For folks that have never really seen a serious Mississippi River barge, eventually this whole thing will come into view, and what you're looking at is bigger than a football field.
Awesome.
Okay, just to give you an idea how big this is. This is way bigger than a football field. And that's all, just for your curiosity.
I'm trying to find that lady, and it's ironic because yesterday she was on every other news feed, and now I can't find her because I'm looking for her.
What was she doing?
The woman who said that she had sex with a reptile.
Well, most people wouldn't brag about that. Does she mean reptilian or a reptile?
Well, she said a reptile.
You got to know, though, that's kind of like around here. I live in the Trump side, and a lot of people, they call everything socialism and communism now, and no one has any idea what either are.
Right.
So they're probably, like, she said reptile, not knowing what she was, just kind of throwing it out there.
Yeah, it was actually an amphibian anyway, so.
Yeah.
It was a newt. She turned me into a newt.
Oh, that's awesome.
I don't matter.
Oh, see.
It was almost a mammal.
Whenever I think of Eye of Newt, I think of a witch making her brew.
No.
I have Newt.
In the old movies that was on every witch's shelf.
Yep. Yep.
Disney
Yeah,
cartoon.
Finally got some extra points for that pre-calc test because he went back and looked at the paper. Cool. Nothing to do with anything.
I trust you can see the whole barge now.
Yeah. Spatial perception. The funny thing is that boat is huge, but it doesn't look that large, but it's huge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I don't know how well you can see it because I'm sure it's pretty small in the camera. There's a series of doors on the first deck that are standard 6-7 foot height, and so that fucker is what 1, 2, 3, 4. That thing's probably 60 feet high.
Yeah, that dwarfs the barges that I see on the Monongahela River. The barges.
You have the same shit.
Hey, Doc.
Greetings and salutations.
Hey, Doc.
Barges didn't travel up and down the Susquehanna.
Oh, you're on that side. Okay.
Was not anymore.
Yeah, I can't find anything on what's the biggest barges, but it says that the average size barge is 195 feet by 35 feet.
On the other hand,
at least one of those.
That's almost two football fields.
But yeah, the other thing that people don't get is that
football field is 300.
Yeah, they often
that's
link
half
them
of what-
together when they're pushing them down the river. That they'll like link 3 of them side by side for the tug to push.
Yeah, huh? Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, the one you're looking at is a side by side. There's two by 4.
swimming across the Susquehanna is generally not a good idea because the currents are strong.
What was
What the
that?
heck was that?
Who was that? Who farted?
Yeah.
That sounded more like an engine.
Not me. Hey, Demon Orb. The joint's starting to kick in. My math is bad.
Wait,
I
you
am
need
so
drugs for
jealous.
your math to be bad?
I am so jealous of you guys who get to smoke freely.
It's still, after all these years, it's still weird to me to walk into a pot shop and be able to purchase marijuana, put it in my car, and drive home in peace.
Okay, Doorknob Head, you're doing way too much work. You've got a river. You don't need to bury the body. You just need to weight it down.
Mm-hmm.
And see, in Louisiana, we don't have to worry about weighting it down. Just throw it in there, and Gator will get it.
Just be
Yeah.
sure to poke holes in it so it sinks.
Well, in the Mississippi, you have to weight it down enough so that the muskies can take it apart.
Yeah.
Or
And meanwhile, in LA, if you dump something in the ocean, the cops will help you.
Yep. What are we getting rid of today, sir?
or if you're close
Just
enough,
my
in-
wife.
or if you're close enough in certain parts of central Pennsylvania, you go to Centralia and throw it down one of the still burning mine shafts.
Well, Scott Peterson tried that around here, and
Oh.
he's sitting next to Sirhan.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What an asshole he was. Like, she was pregnant. You could have, ugh,
I preach, like, I always say this: walk away. Like, if you have, like, I don't have a problem with walk. Like, if I have a problem with someone, I'm just like, bye. I'll see you later. You're annoying. I would
Yeah.
never go through that much trouble.
I know, right? He could have just divorced her. He could have just divorced her.
Well, it's like the guy who just became the parade terrorist. He was having
yeah.
domestic problems, and that's what stimulated it all.
Again, my
Not
ex-wife and I,
sure.
we still give each other the side eye, but we get along so much. I forgot about this. Last on Sunday when she dropped off Isaiah, she pulls up, she gets out of her car, and she has clothes in her hand, and her husband was like, "I'm so sorry," and she's like, "Hey, can you do me a favor?" And when you own sewing machines, when someone has clothes in their hand and they're like, "Hey,
Yep,
can you
you
do
know
me a
what's happening.
favor?"
Yep.
Okay, I have a question there.
So my ex, I get along with my ex-wife so much that I'm fixing her clothes and I'm not even mad about it.
Oh, do it wrong. Don't overlock
Okay,
it.
okay, we have a question.
I don't own any sewing machines, but I went into a local shop one time where they sold, and it looked like there was a fancy computerized model. And I asked them, "Hey, is this a CNC sewing machine?" And they're like, "What? What does CNC mean?" Do CNC sewing machines exist?
Yes,
I don't think they call them that, but yeah.
I have no idea. What does that stand for? You have to. I'm not good
computer numeric control. It's
Oh, okay.
it's just a way of a machine talking to a computer so that it knows 0 coordinates and x and y axis.
Oh yeah, they have
and
those.
Z axis.
Oh,
I think basically they would call it an embroidery machine.
Yeah.
Well,
have-
and Juki makes like nowadays there's actually really cool videos. I think they're in the United Arab Emirates where they're having like a sewing convention, and it takes the human being out, but they have some amazing sewing machines out right now. And I should have earmarked that when I watched it. It was somewhere in Japan. They had one of the most technologically advanced sewing conventions I'd ever seen in my life. It took me about an hour and a half to figure out that the entire thing was in Japanese. I was just like, this is so awesome.
I mean, it wasn't like I asked them. It's like, can you program this in Python with doubly linked list like I can do on my scientific calculator now?
Yeah,
but
the
it's just
embroidery
like,
machines, you can actually create a design on your computer and download it into the sewing machine, and it'll
Absolutely.
create the design.
Absolutely.
I mean, that would probably be the only way I could do sewing because I don't have that very good coordination, but I'm also a computer person, so.
Okay then.
I'm very mechanical, and that's one of the things I love about the older sewing machines is that there's very few parts, so you can I send clothes? It's expensive.
Oh my word!
How about this? How about this? Like, godless, you go down to a secondhand shop, get some really ratted clothes, fix them up, then send them to Nerdy.
I tell you, talk about international shipping. A little while ago,
Oh, it's
Notja
terrible.
thought he was having trouble with his graphics card. He was looking for a replacement. I had the model he was looking for. I was going to ship it to him, but
Oh no.
when I asked about it, they said it was going to be something like $200
Mhm.
for me to
Yep.
ship it from Pittsburgh to Brisbane.
Oh yeah, they're not playing.
I had the same thing for Nacha that I was going to help him out by sending him an old hard drive, and it turned out that ordering a new one from Amazon was cheaper than shipping the one I had.
Yeah,
Yikes.
huh? And then
And-
it finally turned out where the problem wasn't the graphics card anyway. I think he said something to the effect of the graphics card was the only thing on that machine that was working.
Oh, that's hilarious. There's one of my favorite patch shops in England is going out of business because of Brexit, because 90% of their business was overseas to shrubs like me. I'm literally wearing one of their patches right now.
Well, don't tell
Jeff.
school.
Hey,
Oh,
Jeff.
yeah.
hey.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I hear Brexit was such a good idea for many English people.
Oh,
But
Oh,
God.
yes.
They're going out of business, and they're all over. Because I'm actually Facebook friends with the actual owner, and he's like, "Oh, I'm effed." He's like, he's been making patches for over 30 years, and now he's going out of business.
And I was being sarcastic, of course. But
As far as Brexit goes, you're always told in political shit to follow the money. Who's making the money from having Brexit? Who's getting rich off it?
no one
Nobody.
anymore.
No one.
I'm-
No.
I'm still assuming that the Brexit vote was also a result of the Russians tampering in the election.
Well, also, as an American, Jeff, correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't it like a statement of we do not need the European Union? We're strong and independent?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pretty
a
much,
lot of the
pretty much.
campaign to get the Brexit vote was really pushing on the anti-French sentiment.
Because I...
No, it was
Oh, go ahead, Jeff.
microphone for a second there.
You
A lot
all
of
live
it,
there.
this
What
is
the
the
hell do you
sad-
know about it?
Yeah, exactly. It's, I've only lived there all my life, but no, unfortunately, a lot of the sentiment around it, and sadly, both sides of the campaign made it all about one blooming issue, immigration, and playing up on all the fears of, and we've had like how many years of like newspapers in Britain saying, we're getting all these illegal immigrants coming to the UK, just scaring the shit out of people.
Taking a
So,
page
yeah, it was
from
a whole
the
thing of it.
Republican playbook.
I would criticize Britain
Yeah.
more for Brexit, but shortly after that, around November 2016, America did something even dumber.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
Yep.
then again, we went and elected Boris Johnson. So
And if
Wait a
no
minute.
one... Oh, sorry.
How does that work? Do you, the rank and file, elect the prime minister, or do you elect the MP who is then elected prime minister by the other MPs?
you've got the second one. So Boris Johnson kind of initially got the prime minister, but because Theresa May resigned and the Conservative Party elected him leader, which made him prime minister. But we've had a general election since then, which unfortunately he won quite convincingly.
Jesus.
Which is sad because the guy who was the leader of the Labour Party is a guy I would have liked to have seen as our prime minister, because I think he might have done some good actually. But
They trashed... are you talking about Jeremy Corbyn?
yeah,
they trashed him from the moment they even thought that he had a chance. They trashed him.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. See, he back in 2017, there was another general election. He almost did get in.
Mhm.
In fact, actually, if his own MPs in his own party hadn't fucked with him in that campaign, he probably would have won. So, yeah, British politics, fun, innit?
I wish there was some kind of elections that you could, I don't know how it would be possible, but I would love to see it legislated that a campaign can only talk about itself and its position and its goals. I mean, never just discuss the other party or their goals or anything.
Okay.
It's just no competition. Sell yourself.
I wish that
Porpoise, what do you mean by according to a shipwreck here in the UK?
Don't worry about it.
I wish that politicians would stick to their to the issues in the first place. Even here in local politics, the first thing they do is they come out and they start trashing the other person.
Yeah.
Okay,
I don't
Sir
care.
Sick for Prime Minister.
Yeah, now we're talking.
I honestly don't care if the guy got drunk on their motorcycle in 1979 and didn't hurt anybody. Like politics have become how much it's their popularity contests.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It drives me. It's not.
No, they're not even that sophisticated.
Well, this is the thing you see about. I was going to say, this is the kind of thing about Boris Johnson that people got to understand, that he got, should we say, rather popular in the UK by sort of playing the sort of like, acting like the lovable buffoon and going on TV, all these TV shows and that, and he was kind of like, the sort of, the embarrassing uncle you get round at Christmas kind of thing, bit of a buffoon, but basically harmless. That's how he sort of put himself across. He's not at all. He's I mean, this guy's you just look at this guy. He's a nasty piece of work. Has been for a long time.
And when what did he say? This is a long time ago, so you have to give me a second. He called. He said that women in the full niqab, fully covered. He said they look like letterboxes.
Yeah.
Come on up, Athena.
Yeah.
So
he said that.
He's a bit judgmental. I'm from America, so racist is on a different planet in America compared to other countries. So I try to hold back when I say someone's racist. Because it's different in America.
Well, there was a British comedian called Stuart Lee that said it best. He said, "That's political correctness has achieved one thing in the UK." Oh shit! My mic crapped out.
We can hear you. Oh, it's always at the good part.
Yeah, well, that's because the dark state is censoring him.
Okay. Internet crapped out for a moment there. I don't know where I've got. Yeah, I was about to say it was a British comedian called Stuart Lee who said it best, and it's if political correctness has achieved one thing in Britain, it's to make the Conservative Party cloak their inherent racism behind more creative language.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's
What,
the same.
Athena?
It's the same thing here. But what can you do? And the sad thing is that patch shop was a small business. This man was sustaining his family through a business that he was just shipping patches overseas because he was making them by hand. Well, he had machines and stuff, but it's just really sad to see. And the same thing's happening here in Southern California. Most of the small businesses are going out of business, and Starbucks and McDonald's are all too happy to move in.
Yep. Yeah. Huh.
Well, I knew that was
And
going
don't
to be the
forget Walmart.
fallout from the pandemic, that we are going to lose all the family-owned places.
I saw
sorry.
quite a few family-owned places here in Pittsburgh closing because of COVID. My most favorite hot dog shop in all the world closed because they couldn't run. They had to close because of the lockdowns, and they just couldn't pay the rent. What the heck's going on?
Okay, whose phone?
We have not one, not two, but 3 Starbucks within walking distance of my house.
That's totally strange.
There was a corner in South. There was a corner in Southwest Minneapolis that literally, at the one intersection, there were Starbucks on 3 corners.
I don't
Because that was
understand
actually
that.
the dividing line, so they were technically in 3 separate suburbs, but they were all at one intersection.
The small town here, it's La Crescent, population around 4 or 5, maybe 6,000, something like that. Has 2 quick trip gas stations, and they're about 3 blocks away from each other, maybe 4. It's like, what the fuck?
I'm
so busy all the time.
That drives me crazy too. I'm gonna take a picture of the if you stand at the bar in the Vons, which is a Safeway grocery store, same thing. If you stand at the bar of the Starbucks bar, you can, when the doors open, you can see the other Starbucks.
Yeah.
You can literally see the other Starbucks. And then there's one across the street. I don't get it.
In
I
La
don't know how they remain in operation.
In La Crosse, when I first moved in this area, I looked around for, quality coffee and, independent shops and stuff. And I came realize that there's no Starbucks in this town. Now, I wasn't mentioning that because I think they're quality coffee, but while I was looking for quality coffee, I came across Starbucks. Well, they finally built a Starbucks this year. They started in like April and it opened a month or so ago. And boom, at the same time, suddenly a Caribou Coffee is being built. And it's now open.
I apologize for that, everyone. That was the employer still trying to find a place to place me, who does not realize that Massachusetts is not, if I don't want to take a drive to an hour and a half drive and back every day to the largest city in the state, I certainly don't want to commute to Massachusetts. They're not really picking up.
Yeah.
Indiana.
Oh.
It's like they haven't picked up. It's like, yeah, it's been a fight with them. It's like they don't.
Yeah, but don't you find living in Indiana like damages your brain from day to day?
Yeah.
Here's the thing about Terre Haute. Sorry, I have a bad habit of doing that. Or
Wait a minute,
pretty much any place in Indiana, outside of Indianapolis or Bloomington. If you have a just bizarre enough sense of humor, you can appreciate all the redneck engineering you see and general idiocy.
I when I lived in Mexico, necessity. What's the saying? Necessity is the mother of all inventions.
Something like that.
It was amazing. The houses that people built when I was like in Mexico, Guatemala, I was actually impressed. People build hillbilly mansions out there.
But redneck engineering is more like attaching go-kart engines to picnic tables. Not because it's a good idea, but because you can.
Mm-hmm. When I'm driving from Milwaukee to, anywhere out east, and I'm on I-94, my favorite, what my favorite sign is I see? Welcome to Ohio. It's
bad when you're happy about going into Ohio.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I'm not gonna trash Ohio, but I've been there.
I will.
No, because I'm from California, and everybody says, "Oh, California, blonde hair, surfers, blah blah blah." It's always a stereotype.
Haven't you seen that? You know,
Athena.
between Indiana and Ohio, the sign on I-90 says you are now entering Ohio. Why?
I-70 doesn't say that.
Will, I just had this flash of image of you with blonde hair.
Oh, I'll get my high school. I'm trying to not get my high school yearbook out, but there is a picture in my high school yearbook. When I was younger, I dyed my hair blonde. I dyed once I had the base blonde, I dyed it tennis ball green, red. It was basically to piss off my parents, and it worked.
I'm actually trying to picture you with hair, Will.
Oh, see, you're gonna make me pull the picture out. Damn it!
Do you know what my favorite thing?
I'm prepared. I'm prepared this time.
Pictures or it didn't happen. You know the rules.
I've seen that picture, Will, that you're probably going to show. And
Perp, if you want to make me big,
this looks so different with your hair the way it is now.
Do you want to know what my favorite thing about
I guess
Ohio
I should
is?
say your skin.
Oh, awesome.
My favorite.
My fro is real.
My favorite thing about Ohio is it's one state closer to Pennsylvania.
Okay.
I'm not necessarily a fan of either one. Do you know that my fro was so large? I walked in to take the picture and the guy was like, "Are you effing kidding me?" And he took his camera and he took 3 steps back because my fro. He was so mad. He was so mad that he had to take my picture. He had to move all his equipment. Because they had to they got to get that proportion in there. Good times. Good times.
I miss my fro days. Yeah, I had a fro like yours, Will, when I was maybe 19, 20 years old. Looked like a white Jesse Jackson.
Right now, Isaiah has a fro, and he reminds me of Blake from Blake 7. Like, he just has that. Or the Hawaii 5-0 fro, The white Jesse Jackson. That one's going to stay with me for a while.
One of my sisters was taking cosmetology in high school, and they used to experiment on me with all sorts of things, but I drew the line at her giving me an afro. That was not happening.
Okay.
I was not wearing an afro in the mid-70s.
My hair is so strange. I actually have the exact same hair as Isaiah, that when I would take a shower, it would get curly. So I would look I would look like a 1970s soul singer. Either way, with my fro or my curly hair,
Wait, you have to take a shower for your hair to get curly?
Or the weird so I had a lot of friends who were African American, and because of my mixed heritage, my hair was just different. And I'll never forget the day we were swimming, and I jumped in with my huge fro, and I came out, and everyone was looking at me, and they're like, "You mother effer," and I was like, "What?" My hair was naturally curly, so I didn't have to put any chemicals or anything in my hair. I just had to put shampoo or, just get my hair wet and it would curl. And most people, to do that, they have to put chemicals in their hair to relax it and make it curly. Not all, but some people,
Oh, man. When I was...
Oh, hi, Athena. Come on up.
When I was 3 years old, I had the pin curls like Shirley Temple.
Oh, yeah.
I've got some pictures around here like that. And the hair just stayed that way for a long... It started getting straighter as I got older. And that's interesting. The hair got straighter as I went the other way.
Okay, we get to see new Kitten. It's tiny.
Oh, wow. Let's see. About 2 months?
4 months.
No, doesn't want to be on camera.
Well, it doesn't want to be held, most likely. It's very interested in the computer and what my hand is doing.
Ooh, it's windy. Yeah, that's winter in California. Take a picture.
Everyone knows it's windy.
Alexa, what's the temperature right now?
Right now, it's 68 degrees Fahrenheit.
Ooh, it's 68. That is sweater weather.
I'd be wearing shorts.
I am going to program your Alexa to give you the temperature here and tell you to stop bitching about it.
Hey, Will, ask for the temperature in La Crosse, Wisconsin.
Alexa, what's the temperature in La Crosse, Wisconsin?
Right now, in Wisconsin, United States, it's 49 degrees Fahrenheit.
Well, it says in Wisconsin it's 49.
49.
I'm wearing a knee-length skirt. It's 68 sweater weather.
You would laugh at me. I would be in quadruple layers. You would laugh. I'm a real life desert dweller. Like, we exist. I do not. You know, ever since I moved back from Portland, I've acclimated back to the weather here, and I've become a wuss again. Because when I lived in Portland, I was used to the cold weather. You know, I actually liked the cold weather, and then when I came back here, I got used to, you know, real
We
weather.
are currently at 36 degrees Fahrenheit with a wind chill of 26 degrees.
Oh, really?
You wouldn't see me.
Different.
All right.
I guess that's the shit they're talking about coming here.
Nice meeting you, everyone, but I have errands to run today.
Aww.
And my cat apparently wants me to work on the site's coding because it just brought up the developer tools for Google Chrome.
Oh boy.
Okay, well, thanks for joining us.
Yeah,
You know, I
thanks for
wanted you to
coming
come by because I had mentioned your name in the chat the other day, and it seemed that there were a bunch of people here who hadn't met you yet.
I am the Sinister Porpoise. I've been shifting away from what I was doing. It's like I'm doing like scratch tutorials and petting a cat every Saturday night.
Awesome.
I mean, the older content was... I mean, some people enjoyed it, but it's just drama, and it got on my nerves after a while, So if you want to check it out, my channel is The Sinister Porpoise. Be excellent to each other, and so long, and thanks for all the fish.
And your link will be in the description when this chat goes out.
Okay.
It is the
Okay, well, thank you for coming. We'll catch you later.
See you later.
Yay! And I is really full of the pool. Yes,
Well,
I
it's
is
nice to
really
see
full
anyone
of
here.
the pool.
Diana, I think that dialysis has really changed your brain.
Okay, so true story. When my mom had breast cancer, and she would call it chemo brain because she ordered this like weird mosaic rug. She ordered all this crazy stuff because I found all this stuff at the ranch in this dusty corner, and I was like, what the hell is this? And she was like, man, when I was on chemo, I lost my damn mind. She ordered a bunch of crazy stuff. So, you know, sometimes the cure makes you a bit loopy.
If she was on some prescription painkillers, I get it. That's when my fiance was on the heavy painkillers. After she got off of them, she looked at the DVR about the shows that she had been watching, and she was like, what the fuck? This stuff isn't funny.
Perp, I got to step out for a couple minutes. I'll be right back.
Yeah, your screen's just orange now.
Yep.
I know all about the adverse effects of drugs. I take prednisone, and that is a steroid. And I get loopy if I'm on it too long.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Doorknob Head, did you bring enough pastries for everyone?
Ew. But if I take too much prednisone, I go full Ultimate Warrior, full Rick Rude,
That's-
Hulk Hogan.
Never go full Ultimate Warrior.
I got canceled once
So-
because of it.
Well, I don't like to speak well of the dead, but the guy was a fucking right-wing nut job. So
Oh, he was you know he was an actual animal to work with too.
oh yeah, I've heard the stories. Yeah, he didn't quite get the idea of you were supposed to make it look like you were hurting people, not really fucking up the person you were. I did hear the story though that Andre the Giant sorted him out one night though, knocked him out.
Damn right. People get tired when you tell someone over and over and over, like, "Hey, we're not really hitting each other."
Yeah.
I'm still a little disturbed about that expression "pooped dog." I'm wondering who pooped the dog, and furthermore, who ate it in one sitting.
Well, okay.
There's some gross mother effers out there, Doc. You know.
Well, Doorknob had earlier said he had a pooped dog.
I saw that. You know, sometimes I just chalk things up to like regional or like, you know, like it's lost in translation, because I know here in Southern California we speak a different language than people in Minnesota or Iowa or Pittsburgh, you know. So if I don't understand it, I'm like, okay, maybe they're just saying something that is regional.
Yeah, there's definitely regional language here.
Like
I keep saying I think that the U.S. really needs to be split up into 6 separate countries based on the major regions.
Yeah.
You know, and I have to keep explaining to people in the UK that there is no American accent, that the difference between what I speak here and what people in Alabama speak is at least as much as the difference between somebody in London and somebody in Scotland.
Oh, yeah.
To be fair, I think that's a common thing that goes both ways though with between Americans and British people when they don't speak to each other regularly, like what we do, you know.
Yeah.
So
Well, and in England, you've got a different accent every 10 miles.
Mm-hmm.
Oh Christ, yeah.
It amazes me around here. The Pittsburgh accent is extremely regional. Drive a stake in the center of town. You know, the point where the 3 rivers join, the Monongahela, the Allegheny join to form the Ohio. Pull a lanyard 30 miles and draw a circle around that. And that's the extent of the Pittsburgh accent. Cross that line and suddenly it turns into something else. It's just totally amazing. And I've lived here 33 years and it's still annoying. Oh God, I hate the accent here.
See, I'd have thought there'd be like a lot more. I thought there'd be like really like hundreds of local accents in America. I really would have done.
It just depends.
I mean, there's a lot.
It depends on where you're from.
Yeah, I mean, I guess considering, you know, like I said, how small, you know, England is, just England alone is to you know, and you said all the different accents, like you could go to, you know, there's accent in London, there's an accent in the West Country, there's a sort of.
Well, I'm not exaggerating to say that in the U.S., England would be considered a Midwest state.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
slightly larger than Minnesota or Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you know how many people live in the UK combined?
I forget now. I've had to look it up before.
It's over 60 million.
Okay. In perspective, the state of California is at 39 million. Just the state of California. Like we outnumber We outnumber the all of Canada.
And as I was saying, I was just mentioning English accents. That's not even taking into account regional accents in Scotland and Wales.
I was about to say it's a reflection of where you're from, because if I grew up about 30 miles in another direction, I would have a completely different accent.
Yeah.
So
And
it just depends on where you're from.
Yeah, I mean, and there's a lot of differences. There's quite a few little local accents in Scotland. If you listen to sort of like a Glaswegian accent, is definitely very different from Edinburgh, and it's like, what are they 40 miles apart?
That's crazy to me. I have my my neighbor across the street from Manhattan, and I've known him a while, and he's never lost his accent. He still has that East Coast draw.
Well, we do have some of that here. That there are places that you'll have a different access for different cities within the same state.
Oh, Northern California is a different planet compared to Southern California. It might as well be Southern Oregon. Can we give like Sacramento Valley up to Oregon? Give it back to them? Because it is redwoods. It basically is Oregon.
Well, I hate to tell you, but when they were going on about the border wall, I kept proposing that they build it, but they restore the original Mexican border, which I think would put you on the other side of it. I think we lose LA in that deal.
Bye. Bye.
Yeah, I think Mexico's supposed to get the southern third of California back.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there was a Mexican politician who even said something like that as a joke. Like, says, "Yeah, we'll gladly pay for the wall, but providing it's on the pre-1848 borders."
Well, when Donald Trump went off about Mexicans, that's when the old Mexican president was like, "Let me tell you what goes on in this country." Like, they were like, "Go F yourself. You're delusional." Mexico is a second world country, and look it up. I think they're like the third or fourth largest provider of diesel oil in the world. So they just treat their people like crap. But they're a functioning government, They're not like a complete third world country like what most people think they are.
Yeah, it's I mean, we could have an argument on the definition of functioning when it comes to Mexico's government, but yeah,
well, it's cowboy country. When I was a kid, I peed on the border and I got arrested. They took my friend and I like 10 miles up the border, and they robbed us and left us there. Yeah. Mexico is not for the faint of heart at all. It's real life cowboy country.
I'd say that. I mean, British tourists, when they go there, are very much sort of told, don't go outside the sort of established sort of tourist areas. Just, it's not worth the risk. That's
because the cops are corrupt, or if you look like you have money, you can get kidnapped.
Yeah.
There's a joke of it's in Spanish, but it's, what's the kidnap capital of Mexico? San Diego, California, El Paso. They name all the towns that are right across the border. Man, we've talked about some cynical subjects today.
Yeah.
And nerdy. For the record, I tried to stay on topic.
I forgot what today's holiday was.
It's Drinksgiving.
Drinksgiving.
Okay.
Yeah, which National Today had a very nice description about it being, reuniting with old friends and things like this. And I had the much more cynical thing that, after driving through a couple of states for family gatherings, I still need to get plastered before I actually face family that I've been avoiding for most of the year.
Moo.
Legit. That checks out. Oh, because of COVID, I'm going to do a round of applause for COVID, because this will be the third year in a row that I don't have to see my evangelical family members on Thanksgiving.
Yay!
And when I say evangelical, my cousin got so hardcore that he told me, they're like, we only eat what's in the Bible. And I said, what the hell is in the Bible?
That'd
They eat
get dry after a while, wouldn't
a lot of oats.
it?
A lot.
Yeah, that actually, I have considered that one of the best things about COVID, that it has given me a blanket excuse for not showing up at any family gatherings. And it has managed to push off the family reunion for 2 years already. So,
You know, this is
Doorknob head. People are in the Bible.
Well, Doorknob head, you and I need to have a talk. I'm kidding. No, they're just it's strange because I was raised Roman Catholic, but in my family, most people either became an atheist or they go to church because their spouse. Like my brother, I know for a fact he's like my father, where he goes to church because his wife does. My dad went to church.
Yeah.
My dad went to church because my mom went there every Sunday, so he drove her.
I remember who was it on the Bill Hicks one time when he made a joke about the Catholic Church or something, and then he sort of said, "Oh, it says, if anyone in the audience is Catholic, I'm sorry." He says, "Oh, don't get me wrong, I'm not sorry you're offended. I'm just sorry you're Catholic."
I have lifelong friends, people I still hang out with that I met in my church when I was a little grommet. So I'm not mad about the experience. I smoked my first cigarette at church, but Catholicism in general, like I could have done without it, without all the repression, self-hatred. It literally teaches you to hate yourself.
Oh yes, absolutely.
That's the point of the. Oh, and don't wear a condom. Have a million babies, even if you can't afford them. Catholicism is whacked. It is absolutely just a backwards way of thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't afford the million babies, pop them out anyway, and you're on your own.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, I have kind of often thought that.
sorry, Jenny.
That's
I
all right.
was busy editing the description. Didn't realize that you dropped out there.
But this will be the first year in almost 6 years that I'm not alone, because Isaiah always goes to his mom's house and my mom is not going anywhere. So I'm going to make a turkey for those two, for the refugees. Because I spend most holidays alone. And because Isaiah's always with me, he spends most holidays with his mom.
Oh, okay.
See, this is what I like. This is one thing I do like about being in Britain as opposed to America. We only have to do this shit once a year at Christmas. We don't have something like Thanksgiving as well.
Oh,
Britain has nothing, generalized celebratory thing like Thanksgiving.
No, nothing
You're
like that.
not American Thanksgiving, of course, because that's our deception.
No, we got really nothing like that. I mean, it's.
I don't know.
You got Christmas,
Thanksgiving.
and that's.
I like Thanksgiving not for what it supposedly represents, but for the concept of just giving thanks in general to your life and whatever spirits you may be into, or your family, the love of other people, and I think that's worth celebrating.
Well, I had said on Twitter that how about just being thankful for all the people who keep the supply chains running so you can actually have food on your table without having to go out and kill it yourself.
I think
Yeah.
about that all the time, actually. Like how much we do not appreciate the fact that,
Yeah, just all the thousands of people who never get credit for what they do on a daily basis.
or the fact that we have food on our shelves. Like I don't think people realize the process or how many people it took for that food to get there.
No, most people don't think about it at all until the store is out of stock of something.
Mm-hmm.
My experience having moved where I'm living now, I would like to see everybody who lives in the city to come out and spend at least a year or two living in rural, and you develop a way different understanding of life.
Oh, it made me appreciate life living out in the middle of nowhere. I still miss throwing away my garbage, looking out in the woods and seeing eyeballs everywhere because there's deer out there. I still miss that. There was one time I flashed a flashlight and it was like a horror movie.
Now, there's a reasonably sized herd of deer in my backyard. I'm on US 30, and you get. I'll be going to the bus to get to dialysis in the morning, and you'll see the deer across the highway. And it's interesting to say the least.
I don't see them here, but where I lived in New York, the back gate of the house opened onto this city park that was actually, several acres. So, there were times I literally had the deer right in my driveway because it was a big enough wooded area that there was a small herd of deer in there.
Deer, I'm going to say this with love. Deer are dumb. Deer are dumb. They don't care if they destroy your car.
Okay, deer are just cows that haven't had all the selective breeding. And I keep saying with evolution, you only need enough brains to outsmart your food. Absolutely. It doesn't take a lot to outsmart grass.
Yeah.
Maybe you got it wrong, Perp. That cows are just overweight deer with big tits.
Pretty much.
But like the pink pig, didn't we make them that way?
What, cows?
We made cows that way.
Yeah, just like because what I consider pork is different. Go look at a wild boar and tell me you'll eat that thing.
Yeah.
Hey, Rambo did.
Yeah, why wouldn't I? I've seen.
And
I have too, but I'm just saying, like it's different than your USDA certified.
Well, the whole thing about pigs rolling around in filth and being dirty animals, that's only domestic pigs. Wild pigs are actually very clean animals.
Mm-hmm.
They only do that kind of stuff when they're forced to, when we keep them limited in small enclosures.
Mm-hmm.
Although a big part of their diet is roots and things from under the ground, so they do a lot of rooting around with their noses and shit.
Oh yeah, they do
get down and dirty, but they're not pigs.
Well, yeah, and that's why they're used for finding truffles. Mm-hmm. Because they are very good at sniffing out foods that are underground.
Thank you very much, by the way, Purple Lines with Orange, for letting me on. I am surprisingly a little bit inebriated, so I apologise for anything that. And I've just followed you on Twitter. I'm not really sure how Twitter works, so I wasn't being ignorant. It's just I'm not sure how that works, so.
Yeah, nobody's sure how Twitter works.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure how you're surprised at being inebriated. I'm not sure how that could have happened by accident. Are you prone to radical blood chemistry changes? Sorry, I'm just being weird. I'm not picking.
I think he's on the same schedule Stool is, so don't expect that he went to bed at any particular time.
Going to bed on time? What's that?
I've just followed Stool as well on Twitter. Yeah.
Wear a seatbelt when you follow Stool. And a helmet.
Good to meet you, Wildheart.
Nice to meet you as well. Cheers. Thanks a lot.
I don't
Awesome.
think I formally met you yet.
Oh,
Yeah. Stu actually lives 2 miles, less than 2 miles. I could walk to his house from where I live. Literally the next town. Yeah.
I heard about you.
Yeah.
all good, all good.
You're gonna have to share a kebab with Stool one at some point then.
Yeah, he'll have to pay for it, but I will do.
Perp, I can't see the screen. Who are we talking to here?
oh, Wildheart.
Hi, Wildheart.
How's it going?
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Wildheart has just, done some random streams at absurd hours when I happen to be awake. So
Yeah.
Yeah, you've done some long old You've done some long old streams, haven't you?
Yeah, I think the record. This is my 3rd channel on YouTube. Wild Out Again. I used to be Wild Out 666 for about 15 years, following the Great Debate community. Then I was Wild Out 999. This is my 3rd account, and I think the longest has been 36 hours. I think that's the longest stream I've ever had.
okay. I have to hang up my headset for a minute, so you all behave.
Diana, have you had a stream that long?
Have I streamed how long?
36 hours?
No, I've only gone 24.
Because when I think of giant streams, I think of you. I'm not kidding you. There was a time where, you started streaming. I left the house. I was gone for 6 or 7 hours. I come back to the house and you're still streaming. And you went for another hour or 2 after that,
We will go, 8, sometimes 10 hours easily. Jeff would, Sidestripe would say, what, are you trying to rival me? Because he used to have the 12-hour movie night things.
I miss them.
There we go. Yeah. Yes, that's right. Movie nights. There we go.
I miss that man. I miss him so much. Yeah, I was one of the last people to see him before he died.
All right. So, sorry about that. I didn't know he'd died.
2 years ago.
All right.
September of 2019, he came out here to take me to hospital to have my kidney biopsied.
Right.
And he came all the way from New Jersey, from Asbury Park to Pittsburgh, just to take me to the damn hospital.
Right.
And then 2 days later, we got the call that he had died of a heart attack.
Wow, that is From what I remember, I never spoke to the guy, but he did great streams. He was a brilliant guy, and he sounds like if he did that to help you out, and then sorry, I genuinely didn't know that he died. He did some great streams. Had a great sense of humor as well.
Oh,
Really,
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah,
I love that man. Really, I can say the word. I love him dearly. Best friend in all the world. Oh well.
Yeah. I think there'll be like morbid things. Why is it all these flat earthers suddenly dropping dead?
They're all COVID deniers.
Well, no. Well, one of them though had died from cancer though as well, didn't he? So.
Yeah, did he? I mean, I know you're talking about Antonio Subarats. Yeah, he said he had cancer some time ago, but
no, it was announced
people who are sick.
It was announced yesterday he died.
Like Jenny is saying though, like when if you believe in a flat earth, you're more susceptible to stupid shit. So you're gonna you're gonna deny COVID, you're gonna, think that Donald Trump is
Well, let's see, Rob Skilla died from COVID. this Fokker guy, Flat Earth Fokker out in British Columbia died from COVID.
He was the one who was the asshole who was just blatantly flouting all the lockdown rules as well, wasn't he?
He was actively coughing and looking like fuck on camera a few days before he died, and he's going around town coughing and passing it on to the public.
That really pisses me off because my Mormon neighbor bragged about having COVID twice.
Yeah. Fokker was, I think, fined 3 times for violating the COVID rules, and was talking about doing a road trip across Canada.
Yeah.
Was it him who went in because he came into America, didn't he, and then refused to obey the quarantine rules when he went back into Canada? Yeah.
Well, that was one of his fines. After going back to Canada, he was supposed to quarantine for 14 days, and 3 days later, he was at a rally.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
He went into America to some blooming thing where all the flat earthers got together because like he and Nathan Thompson sort of met up and all that, didn't they? So,
I know exactly who you're talking about.
I mean, I'm not gonna be so crude and say something stupid like I'm glad he's dead, but I'm sure not shedding any tears about it.
I'm the same way.
Regardless of other people.
No, I mean the sad thing, the thing that I find sad about it, the whole thing, is that the reactions of their audiences and not the other, when this sort of thing should be the should be the fucking wake up call to the people who to the other sort of COVID deniers and stuff.
Yeah, but look at Trump.
No, there's some of them. There were some of them who were just doubling down, and some of them who think that there's a conspiracy now to like bump off, like flat earthers who are telling the truth. And you've had a couple, and you've had a couple of them who think that they're not really dead and they're actually like controlled opposition, sort of. That's how fucking far down the rabbit hole some of these people are.
I'm gonna say
the sad thing about this.
Well, there's some of them that are saying that he died because he was on the incubator. That's what killed him.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, why would he have been in the hospital in the first place if he didn't have something serious?
Yeah.
They're just gonna do it to themselves. It's really sad.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I said. Like I said, it really, you'd like to hope this would be the wake up call to them, but no, it's not.
Like I was thinking about
sad about it.
Like I was thinking about my neighbor, and she's not the only one. They, a lot of people around here, I don't know if they think COVID is a hoax, but they're all refusing to get the jab. And it's based on their Mormon belief, which I still don't understand why, but they're using that as an excuse to not get vaccinated, but they're catching COVID.
Are Mormons the ones that refuse blood transfusions, or is that? I always get Mormons and Jehovah's Witnesses.
I think it's the JW that do that.
No, a Mormon would get surgery real quick. They'll get help real quick.
Yeah.
We had to tell one of Sloth Girl's friends that, with the medicines she's on, she can't take the risk. So if they're not willing to all get vaccinated, she can't babysit her kids anymore.
Okay, then.
And we have not heard from her since.
I'm immunocompromised. Like, I considered attempted murder. Because you will take me off this planet.
Well, that's the problem, that some of the medicines for her MS make Sloth Girl immunocompromised.
And that's the thing. It's the people that won't get the vaccine, but do they not realise that it's like kind of harming other people? It's not that they won't get it; it's that they can pass it on to other people. Where's a kind of Christian charity?
Well, they don't believe that it exists, and so they don't think that passing it on to someone is a valid concern because it's not real.
Right.
Or even if they even if they think it exists, they can't see beyond themselves. They're like,
Yeah.
I've heard someone say, "Oh, it's not happening around here. It's not happening around
and
around me."
these
And
are
I'm
the
like,
people who are bitching about, they want everything back to normal. And it's like, well, if you would all get vaccinated and wear masks for a couple of months, we'd be back to normal by now.
we will
Yeah.
never.
But since you're not going to do that, get used to this, because this is as close to normal as we're ever going to get, as long as 30% of the people refuse to get vaccinated.
And I'm gonna, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna be wearing a mask for the rest of my life. I don't care what any. I have never been so healthy, because I get sick from everything. More people are washing their hands, more people are paying attention.
Yep.
So I haven't got sick at all like I normally do this time of year.
Hey, for me, I consider it routine that in November I should get strep throat. Didn't get last year, don't have it this year.
That's what I'm saying. So
yeah, I'm fine with wearing the mask all the time if it means I can avoid strep throat.
exactly. And people, like, we're filthy. A lot of people don't wash their hands. There's just stuff swirl. I'm not trying to get, too Howie Mandel on you, but I'm immunocompromised, so I have to think about these things. Like, so it's a new world with COVID. We will never go back to normal.
I can just say I've got to leave now. Thank you very much, Purple, for letting me on. It's great to meet the people I haven't met before. It's great to speak to the people I
Nice
have.
to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Good to meet
Good
you.
to see you again, Wildheart.
Thanks
Yeah,
a lot.
drop in anytime.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate that. I'll see you later.
Yep. Bye
Now
bye.
you go to our school. Whatever the hell that meant.
Hey, Perp. I got word my friend is out of surgery, doing fine.
Good. I'm glad to hear she's out okay. I know you were pretty concerned yesterday, and then you didn't hear anything, and it got
Well,
pretty late.
That's because I'm a worrier. I just
Well, no, I mean, if you know somebody's in for surgery, of course you're going to worry. That's normal.
I always say I'm a warrior and a warrior. Warrior and a warrior.
yeah.
Oh. Hey, Sarah. So, some news. All three were declared guilty in the Amaund case.
Whoa!
I have not been following that at all. What is that even about?
I can't believe it. Damn.
Yeah, that's
Well,
news to
Jenny,
me,
you're
whatever
probably
that
more
is.
up on the news than the rest of us, so why don't you give a brief about it?
Well, my knowledge of down south politics is not from personal experience. It's from reading. It's from watching documentaries, PBS, all this kind of stuff. But what these lawyers of these guys did, they took this clearly what I would call typical Southern defense and tried to make this guy into some kind of subhuman criminal that just because he's black, he should be suspicious, without, of course, saying the word black. And it was just so anger provoking, for in her closing argument, she talks about this guy's dirty toenails. Okay. That as one of those things to drop him down to a subhuman level. His dirty toe. What the fuck does that have to do with anything in this case? And it's just so clear what they were trying to do. And I really thought it was going to take. It's fucking Georgia. And I figured it was just going to be another case of them getting off. And I'm very pleased that they were convicted.
I am.
Well, what even happened to begin with?
Well, okay,
Like, I know
there's
nothing.
this guy, this young black guy, that seemed to have some kind of minor record, but they would have no idea of that. And there was some new houses being constructed in the area where he used to jog or live. I'm not sure exactly which, but he was certainly jogging. And he would go into these new houses that are being built, and they're just all studs. There's nothing in the houses, no tools, nothing, just studs. And looking around and stuff. Well, I used to do that when I was a kid. When I would see a house being built, it would.
I still do that. I still do that. To this day.
And so he comes out of this house. Now, apparently, these guys say that they heard of thefts and stuff in the neighborhood, although they really kind of haven't been able to find out where those were. And so they were following this guy, thinking that, oh, this is the guy. And they surrounded him, and he panicked and was scared to death. A couple of white guys in Georgia with shotguns pointing at you. Grabbed the shotguns, and the guy shot him and killed him.
And these were not police.
No, these are private citizens, and their excuse is, oh, well, we were going to try to make a citizen's arrest. For what?
Yeah.
Vicious racist bug up your ass? And so they killed, and their third buddy was following them around with a damn video camera, to get a shots of this whole thing. And he did. And he got a shot of the guy reaching out to grab the gun that was pointed at him. And the gun goes off, and the guy's dead. Well, you can't claim self-defense when you caused the trouble to begin with.
Absolutely.
And that's what it came down to. And the motherfuckers are convicted.
Well,
and spend their whole life in fucking jail.
That was the argument I tried to make in the Rittenhouse case, but they didn't buy it there. That he went into the situation clearly to provoke people, but they still said it was self-defense.
The Rittenhouse case is a little different, because if you do watch the high-resolution version of the video, you do see the guy chasing the victim. Oh, I'm sorry, you're not allowed to call him victim. Chasing the victim, but then you do see the victim turn and come at him. And so there's a certain amount of question of, does that qualify as being afraid for your life?
I am so tired of Kyle Rittenhouse.
yeah, no shit.
Ahmaud Arbery.
Well,
was
I knew they weren't
avenged
going to
in a
get
way
him for
today.
murder, but that, they even let him off on the charges of like reckless endangerment. They could have at least gotten him on some lesser charge.
Yeah,
there.
I agree.
That judge got a bag of cash, I think, and you can quote me on that. Find me and sue me.
Well, yeah, they ran a GoFundMe to pay off the judge.
I haven't really said much. I haven't said much on it. From what little I did, I only really even started reading about this because I saw that shit that Silverman tweeted.
No.
And I decided I was going to actually just fire up the old camera phone and record a video, just telling Mr. Silverman what the fuck I thought of him. But I thought I actually better read about what this case is before I do that. And I was like, the only thing I thought was, okay, I reckon he was probably going to get acquitted. That's all I thought. Rightly or wrongly, and most people are not happy with that result. But I kind of saw that one coming. But even Ido, not knowing a bloody thing about that case, because I was trying to keep away from the fucking news for a few weeks and just zone out on it all. Knew that was a shit take that he was tweeting. So,
did you see what Rittenhouse said in the interview with Tucker Carlson afterwards? He said that.
What about being used?
He's not racist. He believes in BLM and all this kind of stuff. And the conservatives went absolutely fucking ballistic.
He really said that?
Yes, he really did. I believe in BLM.
Son of a gun. Now, I refuse to watch any of it because the kid's face makes my blood pressure. I can feel myself physically getting angry.
Well,
I'm over how
the
divisive.
conservatives are saying shit like, I backed this kid for 3 months. He's a piece of shit, now. Oh, I see. He believes in people having rights and freedom, and you hate him now. Okay, that makes sense.
Oh, now he's gonna work for MSNBC. He's gonna be rich. I had no idea. Now I have to go back and watch the interview now, Jenny.
Oh, there should be there's excerpts all over the place. You should be no trouble finding.
So all of a sudden you probably got Fox News saying this is a travesty of justice. He should have been locked up.
Yeah, exactly. They do go 360 real quick too.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
At the same time, Fox News is also asking Biden if he will apologize to Rittenhouse.
Yeah.
For what?
Yeah.
Some
as soon
comments
as you
Biden
get-
made basically to the effect that, he didn't think he should have gotten off so easy. I'm not sure the exact quote.
I'm from
I'll
a
apologize
different.
as soon as you get Donnie Deer to apologize for everybody on the planet that he's disparaged in his life.
I'm from a different generation. Like, so sad, too bad. Someone said something mean about you. Oh my gosh. All of this, like that's just, let's call for this person to apologize. Sorry. It's the modern era.
And the other thing that happened in the news this week that I'm really happy for, I guess the decision came down yesterday, is that the civil lawsuits that various people filed against the three groups that organized the Charlottesville, Virginia Nazi rally were found liable for it and fined like $25 million.
I saw that
the Nazi party is going to have to come up with to pay these people off, which of course will never happen. And they're going to, of course.
Well, this is a bit like what was it? At one time, all the assets of one of the largest klan organisations in the UK ended up with it. Ended up being owned by this black woman whose son was murdered by the klan.
The klan is in UK?
No, this is an American story. This is years ago. The largest clan group in America that ended up. I will say we've had sort of, should we say, somewhat imitators that have tried to form over here, but they've never really gotten anywhere.
Well, yeah, the Klan has really tried to export it to other countries, but they haven't really gotten a foothold over there.
The only thing that's ever worked were motorcycle clubs.
Oh yeah, we got them assholes over here.
That's effective.
Well, no, actually, no, I shouldn't say that because some of them I know are pretty decent guys, but I do know, and I'm not going to mention any particular clubs, but should we say there's two of the larger clubs that are known in America. They've been known to go at it with one another in the UK a little bit as well.
They've taken over Australia as well, as far as bikies riding around.
Well, Australia used to have its own sort of homegrown club called the Rebels, which was the biggest. I don't know if it still is or not.
Well, they were they're huge. They're still huge, but there's what I call the big two here in America. They're over in Australia and they're deep. I mean, hundreds of thousands of people, to the point where they were making laws against one of the, let's say, the first ever Australian chapter of one of those big US clubs was involved in one of the first ever real big bike shootouts in Australia. It's called the Mill Perra Massacre, where the two they unfortunately, some poor 16-year-old girl got caught in the crossfire of them shooting at one another. There's actually some really cool documentaries on YouTube about that.
Yeah.
I've watched
there's a TV miniseries about it actually as well. I think it used to be on YouTube. I don't know if it's still there.
So I can't watch a lot of that stuff because it's so dramatic, overdrawn. Like, it's so overdrawn.
Welcome back, Wanderer.
Thanks.
Will, did you hear that? I just heard about this again yesterday or the day before. That there is it's a dramatic film, but it's going to document the Emmett Till case.
Yeah.
I am so happy that this is coming out. That case has been so deeply buried for so many generations.
The problem is that like we were saying earlier, people forget about the past, and they need to be reminded of how we got here in the first place.
Yeah.
Over and over, because like Purple said, if not, we are doomed to repeat it. And we know this because of history. As human beings, we are very predictable of what we're going to do to each other. Very predictable. So Emmett Till is important.
What case is that?
Emmett Till was a young person, I believe 13 or 14 maybe, who one day was kind of suddenly accused of making lewd looks at a white woman.
He was
down south.
He was from Chicago, and he went on vacation to with his family in the South, and
he didn't know the rules.
Exactly.
Yeah, wasn't he like 8 years old or something?
No, he was a kid.
Very young.
Yeah.
And he is what started the civil rights movement, because that's where Martin Luther King came from. Rosa Parks was literally because of that, directly after that,
They grabbed this kid, they kidnapped him and murdered him and tossed him in the fucking river.
No, they put a cotton gin around his neck to weigh him down. And that's important to know. They tortured this kid before they killed him.
Well, I mean, that was the sort of like what I would call the second big attempt to start civil rights, which sort of kind of came off the back of that, because that there had been a previous attempt, but the main driving force around the sort of like first attempt to get a civil rights campaign going was actually, of all people, the American Communist Party. Then little thing called McCarthyism happened. So that this is the thing. McCarthyism set civil rights back in the United States by a decade at least.
Will remind me on Emmett Till, was there ever any? For some reason I'm recalling that there were arrests and a trial and everybody was let go.
They were.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I was just looking it up. He was 14 when it happened.
I can see the guy's face when you said the trial. Like, I could see their smarmy ass faces. PBS, and I'm an American. PBS makes some of the greatest documentaries. Ken Burns, you should go check it out. They just greatest documentaries.
Yeah, it was in 1955.
Emmett Till first started hitting the mainstream left-wing media maybe 10 years ago, and I still know hardly any white people that know about it, and it's just like, how can you not pay attention?
Well, unfortunately, he because he kind of fired the first, because of him, history happened, but history forgot about him in a way.
Yeah, I really didn't know about this either. That's why I've got to be looking it up now. I didn't know about the Emmett Till case.
He is literally the catalyst of why we have Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and that whole era. I watch a lot of Malcolm X stuff, a lot of that stuff, and that was because, he was already around, but he became more prevalent because of Emmett Till.
Yeah. Hey, Diana.
Okay, sorry, Jenny. I've got to mute you while you're on the move because your signal's breaking up and it's causing a lot of static.
Did I hear my name?
Yeah, Diana. What are you cooking?
Oh, I'm just cleaning up in the kitchen here, getting set for tomorrow.
Okay.
I've got some dishes to do. Tomorrow I want to do a turkey breast and maybe bake an apple pie.
Oh, that'd be nice.
So I haven't baked a pie in a very long time. I make my own crusts.
Oh, nice. I do too.
Oh, you do a good pie crust? Sloth Girl admits that's the one thing she can't do well. That she never learned how to do her grandma's pie crust.
A reasonable pie crust. I mean, they're tricky. Don't get me wrong on that one. because it's amazing how half a tablespoon of water can make all the difference in a
Oh.
pie crust.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean,
Yeah.
my thing that I say to people who are making pie crust is don't overwork the dough. You're not making
Yes.
bread. You're not
Right.
making bread. You know,
Mhm.
like you make it as like a shag dough, if you know what that is, where you just slowly add the water
Yes.
and you combine
Yes.
it. So the pieces are kind of all like they're there, but they're lumps, and you bring them together slowly. You
Yeah.
know, and just slowly pat it together. You don't have to overwork it. Yeah.
Perp, did you say 1955?
Yeah, that's what the article I was reading
Emmett
said.
Till? Yeah.
I trip out because my pops joined the military in 1957, so he was like 15 years old when Emmett Till happened. That's crazy.
Oh, so just tell Sloth Girl if she knows how to make dumplings, she can make pie crust. You know.
Well, we had to buy a pre-made pie crust because what we do have is that my sister lives in Door County, Wisconsin,
Mhm.
and cans her own fillings.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, yay.
So
I will say, though,
we've run out of the quarts of the Door County cherries, but we still have a quart of the apples.
Oh, nice.
oh my.
I have some
I will-
alcoholic cherries in the fridge.
Yeah. Well,
Ooh.
Door County is just famous for their cherries. That's the thing they're really known for there.
Have you
I will
ever?
say,
I'm
Mhm.
sorry. Have you ever gone cherry picking before?
Oh, years ago
Yeah,
when I was
Christian
little.
apologists do that all the time.
Yes. Someone clip that. Someone clip that.
I went and picked about 15, 20 pounds of cherries, ate them, and it cured me of my love for cherries.
Well, Diana,
I will say,
Diana,
though,
if you can, you should do an episode of the transgender chef of making the pie if you can
Yes,
demonstrate
I
making
plan
the
to do
pie
that.
crust.
Yay.
yeah, I
Yay.
plan to do that.
Awesome.
Move
I
beef.
will say, though, if you're going to make your own pie crust, it does help if you have a pastry cutter.
Yeah.
Because a fork can be used, but it's not
See,
the best.
I'm just complete old school because I make my own pies. Jeff will know what kind of pies I'm talking about. Pie and mash, you know. And I fold it with my hands. Sometimes if I'm feeling like I want to cheat, maybe I'll use like a little side plate and kind of cut around that. But like I have the little oval shaped pie holder things, like individual ones, and I'll
Yeah,
just
yeah.
fill those up. So good. I need to make a video of it because people are asking me to. So.
So let me just get this straight. Pie crust can be overworked, but not
Yes.
over cuddled.
Right.
No, not over cuddled. Not over cuddled.
Yeah, I have to work that out because I was turning it over in my head. Well, you see the way I've got the two cameras set up in here. And I was thinking of aiming the camera at the kitchen tomorrow and making the pie. And
Yes.
I hope I can get it to work.
I'm sure you can.
Because the different views I would want to use, I might be standing and moving the camera while the thing's going, but oh well, we can do that.
Yeah. Well, tomorrow morning I have to go to my mother-in-law's to help her make 40 deviled eggs, so that turns into 80.
Oh my!
Oh,
my.
I'm hungry now. I love deviled eggs.
So do I.
absolutely
Oh,
love
have
them.
you heard what the Christians said? You have to call them angel pockets now.
Oh, go F.
Oh, fuck you.
Yeah, exactly. Go fuck yourself.
You know, and if I was there and you're making
on,
80
someone's at the
deviled
door.
eggs, the question would be, doesn't anyone else want some?
Yeah.
Okay, wait a minute. Now, okay, let me go to the other.
So can I
Yeah,
ask a question about Thanksgiving? Like, you just get the day off, or do you get like the following day off to recover, or not, or you got to go straight back to work?
Depends on.
We used to get Friday off as well.
Yeah, like all the my son, they usually in my day, you would get Thanksgiving off in the day after, and this generation they get the whole week off. So Isaiah's had
Yeah.
the whole week off.
Well,
That's-
when I was growing up, it was usually, if you worked in an office or that, it was usually a 4-day weekend.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Sorry, Purple. I missed all that because there was someone at the door. I had to go get it, sign for it. I watch a couple of YouTubers, the big ones who have all those giveaway codes, and ordered Glimpse some Manscaped stuff for shaving stuff.
Huh.
And usually it's $200, but I got it for $100.
Awesome.
But yeah, what were you saying about
get
deviled eggs?
some good deals through those.
What were you saying about angel pockets?
Oh, that just ticks me off when people cancel or try to rename things. I always say, if you don't like something, don't participate in it. There's all kinds of things I don't like. I leave them alone.
This is I don't know if you've seen it, Will. There was there's a talk that Seth Andrews gave at some conference a number of years ago about it's called Christian Copycats, and it's just the things from pop culture that the Christians are kind of appropriated for themselves. Like, especially you'll love some of the Christian heavy metal bands. You know.
Oh my
Do
god!
not get me started on the Christians and their what is it? Pure Flix, where they basically plagiarize an entire film.
Yeah, but Pure Flix is actually kind of racist too because they make a gang of Mexican jokes. So I'm not a big fan of Pure Flix at all.
Oh,
and
no.
if I the funny thing is a lot of the people that are on those shows, they all live in Southern California. All
I'm
of them.
I'm sure.
Especially what's his face? The guy who made the racist movie about Hollywood. The guy who's in all the Pure Flix movies.
Well, that doesn't narrow it down.
The blonde guy with the big face. What's his name?
Chad Michael Murray.
Okay.
I think
he Kurt Cameron and him, they all live in Malibu.
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
Hey, Perp, am I back on?
Yeah.
You know what? They can live in Malibu with their really high insurance bills.
Yeah, Jenny, I took the mute off once you parked.
But I always say this. I don't understand why some of the most conservative human beings on earth move to Southern California.
Maybe it's the way of trying to get in with it, but not in with it, you know?
No, it's that around here, really, really rich people get huge tax breaks.
Yeah, but also, how many times do these people get caught, smoking blow and fucking a prostitute? I mean, come on.
That's what I'm saying, though. Like, it's just this is a land of temptation here.
Doorknob Christian rock. You're not making Christianity any better. You're just making rock worse.
Yes.
Yeah. Totally,
Very true.
Like it.
And this is the one thing, and that I'm sure Willow, because he likes his rock music.
Oh, I'm a
be able to back me up. Now, I have never ever been able to figure out one thing, and that is how the hell Striper got a following from mainstream metal fans. So they are those they are shit.
It's funny you'd say that. Anyone who's wearing a t-shirt or says they like Striper, I'm like, defend yourself. I will walk up to them and be like, not like I'm trying to fight you,
Will,
but I'm like, I want to hear it.
I used to listen to Striper. Back in my Christian days, it was Striper and Michael W. Smith and who are those other guys? Fucking Petra.
Petra. Oh, that's the girl group, wasn't it?
I will never talk trash because eons ago on a road trip, I lived in Arizona when I was younger. On a road trip back and forth between LA and Arizona and Phoenix, an ex-girlfriend of mine was like, "Hey, I just discovered this new song. I really like it."
Oh gosh.
We listened to it probably 70 times. It was Creed.
Yeah.
And I had never heard of them before. I didn't know who they were.
I'm 6 feet from the
I think they're awful. I think
they're fucking shite.
Well, remember
they are shite. I do not get the appeal of them at all. And I'm not just on a music basis. I don't get. I mean, I'm not being funny. If I was forced to listen to between a choice of either Creed or Nickelback, I'm sorry, I'm taking Nickelback, and I despise Nickelback.
Jesus.
No, option
No.
C. I'm taking out my eardrums.
All of it, the butt rock era never died. It just moved to a different genre, which is Christian rock. Christian
Mhm.
rock kind of took over the butt rock. Like, what is this? What am I listening to?
Yeah.
You remember? Well, I'm dating myself, I guess. Perp should remember this. Oh gosh, there was this one hit wonder that came through, and everybody just loved the tune. It really had one of the best guitar riffs ever recorded. Spirit and Sky.
I love that song.
That's
I like
pure
that one,
Christian
too.
music. Pure Christian
Wait,
music.
you
Oh,
broke
yeah.
up there, Jenny. I didn't quite hear the name.
Spirit in the Sky.
Oh, okay.
And
Send
so
me
all
up
these
to the
Johnny come latelys like
sky.
Kid Rock saying that he helped invent Christian rock. You know, it's like, dude, no, this before you were born. Come on.
Kid Rock needs to put the meth pipe down.
Yes.
So
Come on,
annoyed.
you didn't invent it.
Kid
South Park did a
Rock.
parody of it before you even did it.
Oh, that reminds me. They're doing a South Park where they're all grown up.
Why?
I love. Oh dear. No,
And
I
it's
don't
gonna
know.
so because everything's privatized nowadays, it's gonna be on Paramount Plus, which I pay for. So I'm actually kind of excited because I'm gonna watch it.
Well, I got a question. Does Kenny grow up too?
They haven't
They haven't
shown
killed him for a long time.
I can't see the point of one where they're all grown up because
I've got to admit that.
Most of the plot of the show is that the kids are experiencing all this bizarre stuff and the adults are completely oblivious to it.
I think that's what they're gonna touch on when they like.
I get to admit that episode you're right about there when Cartman forms the Christian rock band is so funny. I
quit watching South Park about 6 years ago.
And I love the fact that he's just explaining to them how do we make like Christian music. It's easy. You just take existing songs, but instead of but you change the words. So instead of saying "I love you, baby," you say "I love you, Jesus."
It's sad but true.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
I gave up on South
Simpsons
Park.
did an adult. We've become adults episode too. Remember, Lisa became president of the United States, and
Yeah, but Simpsons is different because the kids are interacting more with the adults. South Park, it's like the adults never believe the kids when they tell them the end of the world is coming.
Do you know South Park actually did an episode to address that? They did an episode. They were saying the Simpsons have done everything, so we have to make different stories.
Good luck.
They were basically saying how the Simpsons have done every storyline they could possibly think of.
The Simpsons used to be a great show. It used to be a great show. Now it's just crap.
I haven't.
Well, one of the things I really loved is that they finally came up with a canon explanation of how Kenny keeps coming back and no one remembers it. And it fit the show so well the way they did that.
What was the explanation?
Well, that apparently when his mother was pregnant, his parents joined a Cthulhu cult because they were offering free beer at the meetings. So Kenny is actually an eternal, and every time he dies, his mother births him out again, and he grows up overnight.
Yep.
that works.
I saw that episode.
Hey, Will, do you feel like cringing?
Always.
Because I feel like making you cringe.
Okay.
I'm flashing back to Christian music I used to listen to. I used to listen to a rap band.
Okay.
Called the Raptures.
I was trying not to bring it up.
We're about the rapture. We're rapping about the rapture.
The 90s produced some of the greatest rap of all time and some of the worst crap rap. Christian rap is the definition of crap rap, where someone wrote lines for.
It's smegma. It's
Well,
pure smegma.
Oh my
Well, I would
between,
show
well,
some bad
well,
Christian rap, but I don't want us to get copyright striked.
come on, it can't be any worse than the Insane Clown Posse.
Okay, again, I don't know how that's appealing to people. I'm not judging. If you're, if you're a juggalo in the ICP, I followed Slayer around for I think like 17 years. I am no one to judge, but I don't know how people can get into ICP.
I like a little bit of ICP once in a while, kind of on a lark though. I'm not like a serious follower.
I still, you know what? Like I said, I don't judge. I like for as much metal as I listen to, I love super gay dance music. I'm into all kinds of weird stuff. So I don't judge anyone.
I'll
I don't judge.
I'll be sure I'll be sharing it in the coming weeks when we get closer to Christmas. But there's just someone who did this amazing mashup of the Last Christmas by Wham with Angel of Death by Slayer, and somehow it actually works.
Oh, you remind. I still bump Wham in the car, just to get crazy looks from people. I love it when someone looks over and they see me and they're like, "This does not compute." Especially when I'm bumping like George Michael or
If you want to really blow them away, play classical.
I listen to actually a lot of classical, but I listen to a lot of Spanish music too.
I know a lot of people. I mean, I know a lot of people over here that listen to a station called Classic FM. It's quite a very popular station.
Yeah, but out here, there was one day I would hate to be in a car next to me. They played Nirvana on our oldie station, and I screamed, "No, what the F?" Like somebody was harming me. And the person looked at me like they looked around like, "Oh my gosh, what's going on? What's going on?" You know, I couldn't believe that Nirvana was considered an oldie now. And I have a rule. If you remember it, it's not an oldie. So tell those oldie stations to go fuck themselves.
Dude, I'm still freaking out that my local classic rock station plays Metallica.
Okay, that's not classic rock. That's not classic rock. I remember it. I was there.
So wait, if you remember it, it's not an oldie. I remember Count Basie.
Not an oldie.
Oh my, oh my.
Remember Woody Herman?
Uh-huh.
I still I bump Johnny Horton like he's down the street from my house and we're friends. I still listen to Johnny Horton.
I don't remember Django.
I've got a couple of Johnny Hortons on my play stick. Johnny Horton was mostly famous for doing things like Sink the Bismarck.
Oh, I love that damn song. She fired our guns and the British kept it coming.
I just got Taylor Swift's new album.
Oh, okay. So that is down a gay road that I won't go down.
That's, yeah, Jenny, you do you. I don't kink shame.
Oh, that's so hilarious.
Okay, what if kink shaming is your kink?
I know, right? I said that to Matt just the other day. And he's like, maybe it is.
You know, I hope it starts happening lower and sooner. But I got a couple of eagles here that look like they're about to go into battle.
Yes.
I didn't notice the eagles.
They would be way too small for you to see.
Great. Now I've got doing the eagle rap.
So what's the building there? Is that just a pavilion for picnics, or?
Yeah,
That is
that's
a
about
pavilion.
100-year-old pavilion, built by the Pettibone family. The park is named for the Pettibone family. it's really a beautiful structure. I mean, it's all local stone that you see, and well, it looks like it was probably a copper roof at some time. It's now steel, but it's pretty original. Other than that, they've kept it in really good shape.
Mm.
And it gets used a lot too. I see it filled up frequently with people. You can rent it.
That's awesome.
See,
We have-
in our town, you can rent them, quotations. You just leave a deposit, but you don't actually have to pay for them. You just have to book them, you know.
Yeah, I don't know what they get here. I know Milwaukee County, when they have pavilions they rent, they grab some cash, but it's always really low.
Same here. We have parks everywhere.
Yeah. Well, it varies. Like in St. Paul, to rent the pavilions, that if you were a city resident, you could use them free. If you lived outside the city, you had to pay.
But this is my thing. How could you know that someone else didn't rent it? Like, and then they have this barbecue war. Like, this is mine. Like, you know.
You get paperwork, and the police will enforce it.
Okay.
They will here too, because now I have to check to see if all those barbecues are still in the park. It's been so long since I've looked.
Mm.
When I was younger,
God.
there were barbecues everywhere in parks.
There was a local story. I think will probably not hit the national press, but yesterday they opened up a small facility in Waukesha County for the people at the parade who took off so fast that they left all their personal stuff there, and the city collected it all up and brought it, come on, ID your stuff and take it. It's just such a gruesome feeling to it, you know.
This is why I hide in my house, because it's just, I'm the kind of person that goes to festivals like that. I love getting fresh fruit. I go to outdoor festivals in Hollywood all the time.
Mm.
I was actually just at an event in Ventura this past weekend where they shut down all the streets. There's rows of thrift shops, and I just happened to wander upon, I don't drink. They were having wine tastings, but that could have happened there too.
Yeah.
Because we were all walking in the middle of the street.
There is now word came through this morning. There are now 6 children who died.
Oh, what the
from it, and 62 people injured.
See, that's so senseless. It's just I don't understand.
Yeah, I know. I was saying moof beef. No, I don't understand either. It's horrible, isn't it, Will?
Well, there's going to be a lot of questions that need to be answered. What the fuck was the DA in Milwaukee thinking by letting this guy go on bail for $1,000 for only running over one person? A couple of weeks ago, and who the fuck does Las Vegas think they are by letting him go on bail for sexual assault? It's like this guy's got this long record, and everybody's just kept letting him off. And
we have in the West, though, we have a really, really crappy justice system here.
Oh yeah,
where it favors, like in California, it is not a secret that if you do a crime and you get a year, you're gonna do about 2 or 3 days in jail, and they're gonna let you go.
Mm-hmm.
It's known. It's called time and a half, but you're doing way less than half your time.
Yeah. Well, they don't even have any room in the jails up there, from what I'm told.
Well, I was too, but I had a recent talk with my neighbor because they're trying to put in a full lockdown facility over by the ranch, and it's going to pose all these problems, and it's drama because they're trying to put a prison in a residential area, even though it's out in the middle of nowhere. There's people that live there, and my neighbor who works in the prisons, flat out told me, he's like, man, we have nothing but open space.
Huh.
So I think our laws favor the criminal in a way. Don't come to California. We're extremely liberal here, so you get time and a half, and it's awful. It's crazy times. Don't come to California.
I love getting time and a half. I'll be getting that tomorrow night.
they were doing this thing called COVID release, and then we came to find out that they mistakenly released 70 people that had life sentences.
Oh my God.
And there's somebody who's from my neighborhood who got life, where it is known, if you see this person, defend yourself.
Oh gosh.
Oh yeah. I'm a little miffed at the state of California, and they admitted to making a mistake, but it's like not one of those people have turned themselves back in.
Of course they're not going to.
And
Hell,
we're-
I'd be like straight down to Tijuana. Frick that.
Awesome. And it's been like a thank you. You as well. Okay. And it's been like a full year.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
Jeez,
yeah,
that's
be
really
out
scary.
Tijuana. You know?
I'm not if that person showed up like oh man, my neighbors talk about it all the time. Like and he's a giant 6'4" blonde guy, so we're not gonna miss him. And he's been working out because he's been in prison.
Oh gosh.
That's like
Oh,
we
yeah.
accidentally release Jeffrey Dahmer. Please make sure that your grills are safe. You know?
Look, you know, I am all about Aqaba. You know, I'm all about not trusting the cops, but we have a justice system for a reason, and there is a reason why this man was given life, and now he.
I mean, where is it? I can think of Norway. They probably have like the most liberal penal system in the world.
Yep.
Now, the downside of that means that guys like that, that guy Breivik, who committed that murder, he's going to get out. The likelihood is he's getting out one day, because the maximum prison sentence in Norway is 21 years.
Yeah.
So that's the maximum amount of time anyone could be held in jail for anything. So, I mean, I think, yeah, he will do the full 21 years, no doubt about that. But, he will get out, despite the fact that he killed like 70 odd people.
There was a documentary here in the States on that dude. He was one scary fucker.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, yeah, it's like Will probably know who I'm on about here. Another, not racist Norwegian guy, Varg Vikernes. I mean, he did 21 years. He's out, But on the flip side of it is, though, Norway seems to have also has like the lowest level of like reoffenders like of any nation in the world. So it does seem like that they actually are at least trying, having some success in the action, at least trying to give people who some sort of skills or something, so they don't end up back in prison.
Not here in California.
But, so I mean, yeah, I mean, so there's a mixed feeling. I've got mixed feelings on it, because yeah, I mean, the idea that a guy like Breivik is going to be out one day is pretty bloody scary to me. But
it doesn't bode well when I'll just say I didn't get along with this person that was doing life. And when they were younger, I got in a fist fight with this person before they became 6'4".
Holy shit.
I will predict right now that this parade killer will not survive prison. He'll be dead within a couple of years.
That's how it happens here. If you kill kids in California, in where I live, if you're a kid killer, you do not survive jail.
They will Dahmerize this dude.
Oh yeah. That's
well,
prison.
Let's put it this way: anyone who commits, should we say, offences against children, they keep them out. That they kind of keep them separate in the UK, because they will not put them in general population at all, because the other, I mean, if the other prisoners got hold of them, they're gonna fucking kill them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do that here too.
We got this woman in this blue SUV who is like cruising the park. This is her 4th time around.
It's a cop.
I thought I noticed that one go by before.
Yeah, this is like a 2-mile loop. So, are you okay, lady? What are you doing?
Man, she must have a lot of money to burn. You see the price of gas?
Price of gas has gone down around here.
How much is it now?
Well,
$3.14.
yeah, people bitch about the price of gas, but to me, that just means they have a short memory. Because the price of gas here never went above $3.15. And when I moved here in February 2019, we were paying $3.65 to $3.85 to fill up the truck along the way. And when I moved to New York in 2008, I was paying like $4.25 a gallon all the way across.
Exactly. Right now,
Nice.
it's it's about $4.79 to $4.90 here in California.
Yeah, but just the people bitching about it just don't seem to remember that we've had significantly higher gas prices before.
Well,
I'll
that's
just
really
say,
not the
I
issue.
will just say,
It's not about a short memory.
Well, I
Any
think
Ameri-
it's a concern. You know, everybody talks about the real estate crunch in 2008 that caused the economy to go on. Well, keep in mind, remember when the gas was also $4.50 a gallon at that time, and people were saying, "No, I'm not even going to. I don't even want to drive to work. I can't afford it."
Yeah.
That had a whole lot to do with the economy crashing.
It's like that here right now.
I was just going to say one thing on that whole thing. Americans can shut up about fuel costs because you do not know what the fuck fuel costs are until you've lived in the UK. All right.
So we know what we know what you guys are paying, and we feel bad for you. But
well,
you know,
the reason it's so cheap in the U.S. is because the oil companies get so many government subsidies.
Oh, we fight wars for cheap gas.
Yeah, it's been real hard to fill up the car the last couple of weeks, so it's kind of like pouring salt in the wound to tell me not to worry about it.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I agree.
So do we. So do we, actually, Will. You know, we come and help you out.
Yeah, I know. Gas, I try to have perspective because gas is outrageous here right now.
Yeah.
But like Perp was saying, most people where I'm from, they're putting Joe Biden stickers everywhere where it says, "I did that" on the gas pumps. We've been paying higher prices for as long as I can remember.
Mm-hmm.
Back when gas was 75 cents, we were paying $1.25 here. We have always paid higher prices.
Yeah. Well, and part of that's with California. There's some extra taxes that pay for the extra environmental legislation.
Yeah.
By the way, does anybody remember that meeting where Joe Biden got together with the large oil companies and raised the price of gas? Do you all remember that?
Yes.
No, because it never happened. The president has nothing to do with the price of gas. No president, not Trump, not Bush, not Nixon, none of them.
No, conspiracy theories. I remember it. It happened.
Well,
Not
actually,
even-
right now, Biden is
not even
involved
pushing
in the
his
price
family
of gas
camphor oil.
because, Biden made the decision to reduce, I don't remember how much, from the strategic oil reserve.
50
So that's going to help moderate the price for a while.
For about a week. 50 million barrels is nothing.
I knew it
the
won't last
reserves
long.
are over
Oh, hey, Lisa.
680 million barrels.
And how many barrels are they still pumping out in the Arabian Peninsula every day?
More than 50 million.
That is one of well, it's a funny story. Exxon went out to the Saudi Arabian desert and they discovered oil. And then the Saudis said, "Thank you, get the F out of my country."
Yes.
Well, and for all of the U.S. involvement in the Middle East, we actually only get about 15% of our gas from the Middle East.
Yeah.
That actually, about half of it is domestically produced, and the rest of it we get from South America.
Yeah.
We're only involved in the Middle East because we don't want Europe to be buying the stuff from South America that we can get cheaper.
Or Russia and their humongous pipeline.
Yeah.
Let's not forget also the corporate hypocrisy of the gas and oil situation right now in America.
Yeah.
Last time it got up to $3-4 a gallon, they were all screaming, "Well, that's all right because now the tar sands of Canada and the United States are worth going after," and they did, and the prices went down real good, to where we're paying almost less than $2 a gallon.
Yeah.
And now suddenly that's not in play at all. I wonder why.
Well, I think right now a lot of it is just the oil companies are trying to make up for during COVID. The demand had dropped off so much. When people weren't commuting to work every day for a year, that really hurt their profits.
Well, it makes me mad because the media is out there doing all these holiday stories about, the price of gas, the price of gas, the price of gas. The price of a barrel of oil has been going down for the last month. So don't give me the price of oil shit. It's corporate greed. That's all it is.
Oh, it's the
And
same
what
thing.
the price of oil is today has nothing to do with what we pay for gas today. There's about a 3-month lag between the price of oil today and the price at the pump.
Yeah. I tell you, regardless of whatever it is, it's hard. It's hard right
Yeah,
now.
but Will, what you were saying about the Russians is true too. That the only real reason we went into Iraq was to prevent the Russians from finishing a pipeline that would give them access to the Iraqi oil.
Yeah, because
That's
they
always it's always the reason that the United States or Britain will get involved with this shit in the Middle East. I mean,
Yep.
we actually over in the 1950s between Britain and the United States, we actually overthrew a secular democracy in Iran.
Yep.
Put the Shah back on there because Mohammed Mossadegh was too pally with the Russians.
Yeah. If we had gotten serious about developing alternative energy 20 years ago, we could just give the Saudi royal family the finger by now. But we've got to be all buddy-buddy with them to keep the prices down.
Oh, don't even get me. There's quite a few countries that I don't understand why we're buddies with them. But it's always
right-wing fascists.
It's always Paul. Exactly. There's quite a few countries where I'm like, why? And it's not the ones that you think of.
It's always some raw materials that they have that we don't have enough of.
And, we always talk about colonialism. If you do not think that America is not in Africa robbing the land just like everyone else, you are delusional. We just do it covert.
Yeah. It doesn't make the news.
Did anybody happen to catch Jimmy Kimmel? Does anybody watch him? I do.
Not anymore.
No.
He does this great. It's just one of the best segments, comedy segments ever done. What's it called? I don't know. What they do is they make up news stories that are absolutely ludicrous and not true, and then ask people's opinion on them on the streets. And these people have an opinion on this thing that doesn't exist. Okay, and it catches every fucking one of them. You're talking out your ass. This doesn't exist. And he doesn't tell that to them on camera, but nonetheless he does it. And they did one the other night where it had something to do with, is Africa a country or not?
Oh fuck!
And all these guys, oh yeah, Africa's a country. What are you talking about? No, dude, it's a continent.
This sounds like there was an Australian show years ago called Chasers War and Everything, where they did something similar to that, where they it's interviewing the Americans on the street and just asking them questions on North Korea or whatever, and you just try to get them to point out North Korea on a map or something, and none of them could do it.
To be fair, though, Jimmy Kimmel is walking around Hollywood, and everyone there is a transplant.
Honestly, I think about half the people in the U.S. couldn't point out their own state on a map.
Yeah.
I often think about that because eons ago, when I first started driving around America, I used to use an actual physical map because I had no idea where I was going when I left
Well,
the state
yeah.
of California. So I often, like, the other day I was looking for a thrift store. So I thought nothing about it to program it in my phone, and my phone told me how to get there.
Yeah. I drove delivery in the early 80s when we didn't have any of the electronic bullshit. And I actually had to have one of those thick map books with the, street maps for all the streets in the city.
I still have all my maps because I'm a hoarder.
Well, unless you live in a city, you're not going to know all the streets and where they are. I mean, I know Milwaukee extremely well, but there's lots and lots of sites I don't know the name of. But I can get to anywhere in record time.
I've still got a lot of Ordnance Survey roadmaps in Britain.
Yeah,
I think they're awesome.
I absolutely love having a GPS in the car. I have no sense of direction. That has just been such a blessing.
Jeff, I heard that London taxi drivers are considered some of the most incredible, intelligent people on earth because they have the entire map of London in their heads.
Yeah. Now I don't know if that's sort of still true to this day. But yeah, I mean, it was a sort of it famously called the knowledge is what it's sort of known as. And yeah, there was quite an intense sort of thing that London cab drivers would have to go through to get their actual sort of license or whatever to work for any of the London. And I think I don't know if London cab companies were sort of part of public transport network at one time. I don't know. They may have been. They're very I mean, the thing is, if you actually look at London taxi cabs, they're just distinct from any other like taxi cabs in the UK. The sort of shape of the car and whatever, and generally they're black taxis. It's they're very different, but yeah, it's that was one of the things London taxi drivers sort of had to do was do this sort of just had immense knowledge of every street in London.
That's I had heard they had an extensive test that they had to go through for that.
That's crazy. I never knew that.
Well, the cabbies in New York City still have to go through those crazy tests.
Okay, well, we've been going 2.5 hours here. I need to wrap this up because I need to call some doctors' offices before they close for the weekend.
Well, it's been a good show.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we covered some interesting topics. So, does anybody have things they want to fill out before we go?
Nothing here.
Nothing special. I may do most of tomorrow on the air in one way or another. T and Danish mentioned she's going to be doing her show and wouldn't mind if I stopped by, so I just might. And I might go on my own name and just see how it goes. That sort of thing. It's going to be what's the word I'm looking? Open season, basically. No plan or anything. Just do it.
Well, I will be doing my regular Thursday night show, but apart from that, I probably will not be on the computer for most of the day before then.
Moo.
Diana, when is your show again? I'm sorry, I missed it.
What, tomorrow?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll probably go on in the morning sometime. And then I think T and Danish mentioned noon, I think. So I might go on with her.
Okay.
And then I might go on again in the evening. I mean, I've got nothing better to do all day, besides pet the cat. So
you can always masturbate.
Not anymore.
Yeah, you can do that on the show.
Well,
not since kidney disease. I'll tell you, that really knocks it out of you.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? Oh man.
well, I definitely need to do the show tomorrow night because, of course, I can't miss a major holiday. And November 24th is Evolution Day. It is the anniversary of the first publication of Origin of a Species.
Oh wow!
Oh my!
Movie.
That's better than the native people saved our ass day.
Yeah, I wanted to avoid all the political arguments of that one, so I wasn't going to use that.
Oh, it is a contested day.
Well,
Oh,
I'm
tomorrow's
glad
Rape
you
of a
like that
Nation
name.
Day, I
Mike.
thought.
Well, and Will, I'm sure that you have something to plug.
I'm Godless Sewing from the Godless Sewing channel. Go down to the Godless Sewing channel. I've recently released 2 videos. I think you can watch the second one now. YouTube is cracking down on people like me who take copyrighted material and put my face on it. So I made a video last night about how to make a battle vest. So come on down, check it out, and masturbate a turkey, like Doorknob had said.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
And as always, do not forget to tip your waiter or waitress on your way out. And thank you for showing up today.
Oh God, are you ever straight?
Queer
Never.
$2 bill.
Never.
Okay, and
you're
I
giving
am still
Doorknob
looking
head
for
ideas
people
there.
to fill a whole bunch of slots for the Christmas Day Marathon because we need to run all day Christmas Eve and all day Christmas Day to cover everyone around the world.
I never did give you a time, did I? I'll have to talk to you later.
Yeah, well, so far I only have about half a dozen people committed, so we need a whole bunch more people willing to take time slots.
Let me know what time slots you got available. I'm going to see if I can fit myself in for a couple of hours at some point.
Pick a time, especially for you, because the time slots I do have filled are mostly what's prime time in North America. So if you want to take something that's earlier in the day, all the better.
Yeah, well, I know I'm working during the day on Christmas Eve, but I might better do a couple of hours in the evening that day, in evening our time. So
yeah, evening your time will be early afternoon for me.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, just let me know what times you would prefer.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, for me, it's going to be Christmas Day because I'm pretty sure that I'm going to be in dialysis Christmas Eve. Christmas Day falls on Saturday, right?
Yep, and with that, then we will bid you all a good day and see you all tomorrow night.
Rock out,
Bye-bye.
rock out.
Bye.
Oh wait! I almost forgot important
What'd you do?
Oh yeah.
To thank all my Patreons for their support.
Whoa!
Lavender Lady and Greg Hartwig who are here with us, and Ox, Robert X, Junie the Apostate, Vonrick, and X of the Utah Artcast. And I'm sorry that sometimes I forget, but I really do appreciate the support. I really do appreciate that it's less money coming out of my pocket just to keep things going here.
There you go.
So thank you all very much. Okay, and goodbye to all of you for now.
Love you, chat.
Bye.